Hello, 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 hello. Happy September, friends. Your girl Amber here, and if you don't know me, get to know me. Check me out at ambermaverythrives.com, ambermaverythrives.com. I'm gonna put that up here real quick. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope that this video finds you well. I want to pop up really quick to share just a few things. And so if you don't know me, you'll find a whole lot of things about the things that I do on my website. But for today's focus, I am specifically coming up to highlight one of the new things that we are going to be launching out here in the A Pains Designs world. So A Pains Designs is my personal business brand. I've had it for over 10 years now, and I help individuals as well as corporations, nonprofits bring their visions to life. We do that through what we call the 3 E's of service. That is enterprise, helping people to brand and market; education, which is what we're going to talk about today, helping people to learn how to do their own branding and marketing through classes and workshops; and empowerment, which is our women's empowerment program called Vision Defined Women. So we have different arms, and the goal is to really, again, help people bring their visions to life, as well as recognize the power of creativity and how we can make impact through it. So for today's focus, I am creating this video to announce that we are going to begin having the educational classes. Is something I've been talking about and wanting to do for some time now. I had planned to start in the fall, so we're kind of switching out of August into September. Welcome September. And so I wanted to be upfront to say that we're going to start that effective next week. At least we're going to put the offer out there. And so what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about CANVA and branding DIY classes. Okay. Why is this important? In the time we live in, everyone's marketing something, whether it is your new business, your new book, your new ministry. But how do we do that effectively on a budget, right? But professionally. And so with my years of experience, also working with organizations, nonprofits, and being behind the scenes doing the work, one of the things that's really been on my heart is not doing the work for everyone, but teaching. I'm a teacher at heart. And so through these classes, the goal is that you will learn how to professionally do it yourself, which will save you time and money, but also the goal is that you still can stand out in the marketplace, right? We know real quick whether or not we are going to buy that product or connect with that person through what? Their online presence, through their brand or lack thereof. And so the goal with these classes is to really utilize quick, easy, practical tips as well as know-how, right? To allow you to stand out, to allow you to understand that if you are going to create your own social media graphics, logo, or other elements that makes up your brand or what you want people to perceive you as, right? That you know how to do that professionally. And so come with me if that sounds of any interest to you to one of our upcoming classes. And so these classes we're calling the Power Hour CANVA classes. The goal is that we do them around lunch hours. Now for some people, you might say, I can't ever make that. We will eventually have some evening classes, but for those of us who are entrepreneurs who make our schedule, it's actually a good time of day. And even for those who work a job, but you have a set hour in the middle of your day, it's a great, easy time for you to kind of bring your lunch to class, right? But also bring your brain, right? Take some notes so that you can continue moving your vision forward, moving your projects forward when you can't pay somebody to do every little thing for you. And so being a designer and getting paid decent money to work for people, I am also a small business owner, and I recognize that with ministry, with business, or whatever we're building, we don't always have the means to pay someone to do everything. And so again, these CANVA and branding DIY classes that will take place midday I'm going to start rolling them out, and depending on the need, depending on the demand or the request, we will advance them, whether they be longer sessions or whether they be full workshop days or whether they become evening sessions. It will kind of navigate depending on response. And so the goal is that these classes are small and intimate. This is not something where we're looking for 20, 30 people to be a part. We want it to be small so that you can ask those questions. You can get that direct support, that if you're already working on a project, right? For instance, you're already working on something, you just need another set of eyes, or you need someone who has a design eye, so to speak, to look into it. We can kind of work on that together. And so you're probably wondering, so when are these classes going to be? The goal is to start these classes within a week, right? This is going to just be a kind of a litmus test to see what are the needs, where are people at, so that we can continue to change things, add more classes, change the time frames or the durations of classes, so on and so forth. In the past, people have asked me to do classes, and I have not had the capacity or the time to do it. And so I am being intentional to put this out here to see if that demand is still there, and make space so that I can help people, again, professionally create their things. And so the first few classes, and if you can't make these, no big deal. But for those who are interested, you are already building your ministry, you're already trying to figure out your branding assets, whether that be your logo, your brand colors, your website. You're already in that space. This is a really good opportunity to get some insight, but then also get a little moment for interaction. The first few classes are going to be next week. So Tuesday, there'll be a 1-hour class. And then Thursday, there'll be a 1-hour class. You are open to take part in both classes. Classes are only $45 a class, which it could be so much higher because that's way under my hourly rate. Okay, I'm just being honest. Okay, way under my hourly rate. But why am I doing this? Because again, my heart is to really help serve people and make sure that when we show up online, I don't care if you're just on a Facebook page. In the time we live in, it's important how you show up, and it's important that you show up consistently across these different platforms. And so I want to show you what that looks like and tangibly be present to answer your questions. If you want to take part in both classes, it'll be $90, okay? Again, well under 2 hours worth of my time, generally speaking, but it does not matter. My goal is to really help empower you. And someone might say, well, Amber, why is this not free? We do not pay attention to, we do not show up if we do not invest. Statistically, go ahead and look at that, okay? But where you put value, you will show up and you will get something from it. Also, my time is valuable, okay? And so that answers that question. What else did I want to share with you guys? And so I talked about that each session will be 60 minutes. And again, if you cannot make these two, we will probably start a Rolodex of other classes. I will highlight real quick some of the other classes that you can expect to come up through September, October, so on and so forth, as we see fit. Canva one-on-one is going to be, most of the classes, by the way, will be directly through Canva, but we will also use Wix, which is also another platform I personally have enjoyed using as a professional designer. I use Canva daily. I still use Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, all the other Adobe platform software, rather, that most graphic designer, professional graphic designers are familiar with. Very versed in that. But one thing I love about Canva, number one, is that it's not only easy to design it, but it's easy to keep things organized, right? Organization is very key to execution and success, in my opinion. So keeping things organized is great to share. So if you are working on a ministry team, or you are working through smaller projects, I will say if you're building out a book or something like that, trying to use Canva for the whole thing. You don't want to go through 200 pages in the way in which it's formatted. But for simple things that you would use on your work or for your ministry or for your personal business, social media, graphics, it is amazing. And I will talk a little bit more about that. And so the key classes that we're going to have upcoming, in case you're wondering what those classes will be, and I did not drop this in the chat, but let me do this real quick. The key main ones we're going to start with is Canva 101, which is using Canva to create your brand. Okay, when I talk about brand, I'm not just talking about logo. We're really not even talking about logo. I hope you do already have a logo, but if not, I'll be able to show you briefly how you can use Canva to create a logo. But your brand is made up of a lot of different components. And so we'll get into creating your brand's look and feel using Canva. It will include me going through like an informational side, but then leaving space for interaction and question and answers, okay? The other focus that we're going to be focusing on for these first two is how to create your own DIY, so do it yourself, social media template. Okay, a social media template is generally a template that you create that allows your brand colors, feel, textures. If you have certain elements that you use in your brand, it's going to help us to be able to create this so that if you need to pass this over to an intern or a church administrator, something like that to complete a job, they can use that same template and keep the same brand consistency so that people remember it, right? So that it becomes a constant look, which is why we love great brands, because it's a constant look. It's a constant feel that makes us say, oh, that's that brand, and I'm going to associate with that brand because of their messaging or their colors or whatever. So we'll go through that, but those are the two main ones we're going to start with. There are two other classes, or they may become workshops, that I really can't wait to get into. One is You Are Your Brand, and that is where I really unveil the power of knowing who you are, being consistent, and owning your voice or developing it, right? Because people do business with, connect with, relate to people they know, like, trust, right? Connect with. That's why you like watching that certain person on social media, or that's why you keep buying that specific brand or product, is because you relate to them. You connect with their story. It's something about them that attracts you. And so we will talk about what does it mean to recognize that we are our brand, but then how does that make us show up? Okay. And so that's one of the other ones. And then another session we will do eventually is our brand basics. Understanding how do you design, right? What are that hierarchy elements you should keep in mind when you're doing your own designs, whether it be creating a logo or creating a PowerPoint or whatever else. There are some design bases we should know we want to show professionally. Right? And so we're going to go through some of that. I hope that some of this answers some questions. If you have any other questions, I will probably in the next 20 minutes be dropping a link so that you can go directly to find more information, see this video replay, as well as enroll. This is a first come, first serve basis, so I will not allow a lot of people to be a part of this. These first few classes are going to kind of be our pilots. Done a lot of things, but our online classes, generally you kind of have to gauge people's level of technical, how tech savvy they are, right? Can you get on a Zoom or an online platform? Can you do certain things? And so I'm going to use these initial classes for that. But as we continue to evolve these classes, we'll have different offerings, which may also mean the price points may change as well. So I want to open this up for anyone who one is a previous customer or existing customer of A Paints Designs, and we've already developed your website, your social media, but you just kind of need a refresher. This could be for you. This is also great for anyone who's in ministry, who you're normally the person doing all the things behind the scenes, right, as well as in front of the scenes, and you just need some support with that. Join on in, okay? And then this could just be for anyone who's learn these different tools, but I don't know where to start. Join on in. If you have questions, feel free to drop them below. And if you are interested, drop it below as well. And I will make sure you get the information so that you can enroll and be with us for our first few classes. God bless you. Keep pushing forward, keep pushing into your dreams, and stay connected with the right people. September and onward is going to be a great time for many of us who choose to do the right things, try different things, position ourselves, and push into purpose. Okay? God bless. Have a good rest of your evening.